You have to prove fraud, which we can. We all voted for him to deport not 11 million, sweetheart, 50 million. That's lie number 2, not lie number 3. Illegal aliens have not infused $7 trillion into the economy, you bimbo. We have lost trillions of dollars spending on illegal aliens and trillions spending on them here now. God, these people are so stupid. I didn't vote for Trump for my groceries. I want the cost to go down. I want my mortgage rate that more than doubled under Joe Biden and you lunatics of the left. When I moved, let me just give you an idea. I moved and I sold my house in one state, moved to the other. Under Trump, my interest rate was 3%. My interest rate now is over 6.5%, and I have excellent credit. 800 score, get anything I want, whenever I want. The best I could get was 6.5. 2.5 times the difference because you Democrats are scum suckers. You are disgusting people. You leftists, I can't stand you. Every last one of you, I can't stand you. And then to sit there in CNN and watch these lies, just it's unbelievable. Like a psychiatrist should just study them, how they can say those lies and they just roll off their tongue. Like it's like the sky's blue and this dollar's green and the sun is shining and tomorrow will come up again. It was just one lie after another. And she's a typical, I'm going to watch what I say. She's a moron. And then you have another moron, Jim Acosta. I think I just started this show, Logan. I think maybe I'm on episode 34. So maybe 2.5 months. I get more views than that idiot does. And he's been doing it for a long time. He's a moron. They all lie. That's all they do is lie. I only got to like 3 of her lies. $7 trillion illegal aliens have infused into America. Here's the best question that you can ask someone, especially someone like that. If I was on the panel, I would say, ma'am, there's so many lies you just told, but I just have to ask you one question. If illegal immigrants were so great for our economy and so great for our nation, well, why don't we just take in 300 million? Like the more the merrier, right? If I got a goose that's laying golden eggs and you tell me I have 1 million more of these geese, they're in my barn. Do you want some? No. I'm good with just one golden goose. Thank you. I'll just take whatever that goose pops out. No, you would say, I will take all those geese, please. So why don't we take all the illegal aliens? Why don't we empty out Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Panama, Colombia, Mexico, and we haven't even hit 300 million yet. Costa Rica, we haven't hit 300 million yet. Why don't we take them all? Every last one of them. They're that special. They're golden goose. Golden geese everywhere. Illegal aliens. Bring them in. Do you see the absurdity of what I'm saying? The absolute stupidity. Nobody, especially the left, no one goes one step beyond the present of their conversation or discussion. That's it. Illegal aliens infuse $7 trillion. They're the greatest thing in the world. Nobody says, hold on a second. Can we peel that back just one step more? Look, can you, I'm going to guide you like an old lady crossing the street. I'm going to guide you intellectually because you're so fragile. You're so stupid that your mind might break and we have to put you in a mental hospital for 6 months because you're that stupid. You know who's not stupid? You know who's not going to take any of this garbage? Tom Homan. Tom Homan's on Dr. Phil and he tells them, these are the 3 things we're going to do. I love this man. When you get done seeing someone as stupid as that woman, you have to get a hard, long shot of Tom Homan.
What happens January 21st? Where do you start?
Well, there's 3 rails we'll start the first day. Number 1, we're going to secure the border. Number 2, we're going to run the deportation operation. And number 3, I'll look for these 300,000 kids. We'll find them too. President Trump's been clear. We're going to prioritize public safety threats and national security threats first because they pose the most danger to this nation. So day one, we're going to be looking for these public safety threats, arresting them, detaining them, and deporting them. And if these sanctuary city mayors don't want to help, then get the hell out of the way, because we're coming. We're doing it.
You say that the left media has it backwards, branding you as the bad guy. How are you the bad guy?
You know, I grew up in a family full of cops. My grandfather's a cop. My dad was a cop. And we're in a situation now where the left thinks those who enforce the laws are the bad guys, those who broke the law are the victims. Well, we're going to change that after January 20th.
He's hitting on something that we have to discuss. He and Mr. Homan, guys like myself, in federal law enforcement, enforce laws that the Congress has passed. Let me make sure, so if there's any leftists watching, that I say this again and slowly so you understand. The laws that AOC, Mitch McConnell, Paul Ryan, Speaker Johnson, all the insane left and the rhinos, those laws that they passed, we enforce. So when they call us racist and Nazis and xenophobes for enforcing the law, why do they not change the law? Because they can't change the law, because they will lose their seats. They just will. This is the irony of all ironies. I swear an oath to uphold the Constitution and the laws that have been passed by Congress. And I do that, and then I'm called the bad guy. Tom Homan's called the bad guy. What's the alternative? We are living in the alternative. We don't have to wonder about what is this Alice in Wonderland? No, we're living in it. We're living in insanity. Illegal aliens are roaming our streets, raping our women, killing our children ad nauseum, assaulting our men, our husbands, because we're fat, lazy, and weak, and they're taking advantage of us all, these poor, doughy, white little ducklings walking around. It's unbelievable. When you begin to listen, Donald Trump is right. We have some of the dumbest people leading our country. In politics and out. Just dumb, stupid, ignorant, willfully blind to the truth. Let's listen to Byron Donalds from Florida. I don't agree with his cost analysis, but let's just use it. He's saying trillions, over $1 trillion in a decade. I say that's way more, but just for laughs, let's just believe that he's getting the right number that costs for illegal aliens.
Well, but Martha, I will tell you, what we already know is that the cost of massive illegal immigration to the federal government, to state governments, and to local governments is more than $150 billion per year. So if you're going to say that it costs us $300 billion over a decade to repatriate illegal aliens to their home country versus the American taxpayer having to pay more than $1 trillion over the same decade to keep those illegal aliens in the United States, that is a savings to the American people. And so it is important that, yes, we are going to have to use resources to repatriate these people back to their countries where they belong, but it pales in comparison to the costs of massive illegal immigration in the United States, not just with trying to subsidize people living here, but it's also the crime that has occurred. You could bring up Rachel Nungari with the tragedy that happened to her, Laken Riley, the tragedy that's happened to her, not to mention the displacement of the American people in their own cities when it comes to resources by rampant illegal immigration. As far as I'm concerned, this is a savings for the American people.
Congressman.
Isn't it amazing that very, very unattractive and unappealing woman on ABC? She's a quintessential just darling of the left, just embodies the beauty of the left. Their now go-to objection to deporting illegal aliens is cost too much. They're concerned about money now. Cheering $200 billion to Ukraine. But we can't spend any money to deport illegal aliens. They're intellectually dishonest. That's a very cute way of saying they're all liars. They're liars. But what are we up against? I'm going to show you this next clip, not of someone I'm a fan of by any stretch of the imagination. Don't ask, don't tell Lindsey Graham, the man that served in Afghanistan with Pete Hegseth. That's his claim. While serving in Afghanistan, Lindsey Graham was in the front lines. You ever see him in those? He had the RPG. He was the guy that carried the RPGs and blew up the hillsides of the Taliban. And then every now and then he would just go complete Rambo and just tie a bandana to his head and just go in with a knife and just slaughter the ISIS-K. Remember that, what that idiot Barack Obama called them? We have been led by some of the dumbest people on planet Earth. That's the truth, the absolute truth. But I want you to hear what we're up against. This is an assistant district attorney in Philadelphia being grilled by Don't Ask, Don't Tell Lindsey Graham. Unbelievable. Watch this exchange.
Does anybody disagree with the following statement? America has a right to limit how many people can come into our country.
No.
Nobody disagrees with that. Good. Mr. Toure, very successful life. You have much to be proud of. During the 4 years of the Trump administration, were you ever, anybody suggest you should be deported?
Thank you, Senator, for the question. No.
Okay. Do you support deporting the 1.2 million people who have been through the system, have a final order of removal? Do you support them leaving?
Senator, I'm a prosecutor.
No, I didn't ask you if you're a prosecutor. Do you support them leaving?
I support people that have committed serious crimes.
Do you support the people who have gone through the system, been denied, had their day in court, final order removal? Do you support them leaving?
If you have
as a prosecutor, as a rule of law person.
If you have committed a serious crime in this country,
that's not the question. So is it your belief that every non-criminal in the world can come to America?
No.
How many people want to come to America that are non-criminals? Probably hundreds of millions. And I understand why. It's a great country. So my point is, if you're not willing to say that we're going to deport you after you've had your full day in court, you're facing a final order of deportation, we're going to incentivize people to come forever.
That is a pure example of how we have no justice in America. You have the assistant DA in Philadelphia, crime-ridden, absolute cesspool. You ever been to Kensington neighborhood in Philadelphia? It's about 1 square city block. No, excuse me, a 1 mile block of the Night of Living Dead. It's a buy drugs, shoot drugs up, don't get arrested, free zone. Zombies, literal zombies wandering the street. 95% of all hard narcotics being ingested and shot into their necks and chest in Kensington neighborhood in Philadelphia comes from the Sinaloa drug cartels. But you have a district attorney that's telling you, well, only if they're violent. Well then, sir, why did I spend, the ugly lady from ABC is telling us that it costs too much money. We just spent millions of dollars because we pay for these illegal aliens attorneys. So just make sure the audience understands that. You're an illegal alien. You broke into our country. You stole our money. You're trying to steal our citizenship. And then we give you taxpayer-funded attorney. That's how stupid America is. Just stupid. But then after we go through that whole process of paying you, giving you welfare, food stamps, Section 8 housing, everything you can imagine, sex changes if you want it, we'll pay for it. And then we finally find you deportable, and this jackass says, no, we shouldn't deport him. That's what we're up against. However, as stupid as that man was, that DEI hire, you know, just looking at him, he's a DEI hire. And the left's going to go crazy. Is, oh, you're a racist. No, you love DEI. He can barely put two sentences together. I don't care he's black or white or whatever. I just saw the lady on CNN. Who knows where she's from? She's an idiot. The white man sitting next to her, Acosta, is a bigger idiot than all of them. This has nothing to do with skin color. This is just a level of stupidity that we can all tolerate. And then you throw DEI on it, then it just exasperates it. Lindsey Graham is making a point of 1.2, 1.3 million people have already been given final orders of deportation. That's not true. It's closer to 5 million. Wrap your brain around that. Let's say I'm wrong, and Lindsey Graham is correct, 1.3. Still, 1.3 million people have been told, get out of our country. You know what they said? Yeah, go pound sand. Know why? Because I have morons like that guy from Philly. He's got my back, and he's in charge of all the law enforcement, the final end. Here's the dirty secret I want the audience to understand. Police officers, detectives, special agents, Border Patrol agents, FBI agents, Secret Service, DEA, all of this. Do you know that we don't prosecute? Do you know that all we can do is arrest, put the casework together, and then deliver it either to a district attorney or a U.S. attorney, and then all bets are off? That's where the justice system breaks down and is complete fraud. Complete fraud. Our justice system is a joke. When it comes to illegal immigration, the tide is turning. This next one, this is from News Nation, and this bubblehead is asking a legal immigrant from Asia. I don't know where. I can't remember if she says where. And she preps her as if Donald Trump's a bad guy and is going to end birthright citizenship, which we talked about yesterday is a complete lie. But listen to how this lady answers her question, and just diffuses all of her angst and lies from the host. It's pretty quite amazing. Watch her face, too, when she says it.
The president-elect saying that he plans to end birthright citizenship in this new interview. It is included in the 14th Amendment. Your reaction, your response?
Thank you for having me. This is what he promised. And because I think there's a lot of frustration amongst American voters across the spectrum, Democrat and Republican, that we have millions of people pouring into this country. And then all of a sudden, they have access to a lot of resources. I know I probably sound like a conservative, but you see that 52% of Asian Americans shifted to Trump in Nevada in this past election. A lot of it is stemming from this angst that all of us waited so long to come to this country, myself included. I am an immigrant. I am a naturalized immigrant. My family and I waited for years in England. We applied. We brought useful skills. We came with $200. We didn't jump in line. We went through the process and followed all the rules. So I think there's a lot of frustration amongst Americans that a lot of people are jumping the line.
Wow. Hold on a second. That was a DNC finance person. She didn't sound like a conservative. She sounded like she's MAGA. Absolute MAGA. Don't you love it when someone on the left wakes up? It's like a boxer. They've been going through 15 rounds and just getting pummeled. Then all of a sudden you get some smelling salts and you get a little life to you. That's what the retarded left is like. They're like punch-drunk boxers that have a moment of clarity. Birthright citizenship. Again, another talking spoke hole saying, well, it's in the Constitution. No, sweetheart, it's not. It's not. In fact, show it to me. Quote it to me like Miss Welker quoted to Donald Trump yesterday when she misquoted the Constitution, the 14th Amendment. Go ahead, show me how intelligent you are. Show me the level of intellect that you possess. You people are brain dead, absolute brain dead, and we need to talk to people like this. When people lie to you or come off so arrogant that they're the expert on it and you know they're wrong, you need to call them on it. Say, no. The 14th Amendment doesn't say that, it says this. Why are you quoting it that way? Are you ignorant or you're a liar? Either way, it's not good. But you need to choose one. Are you lying to me or are you just grossly incompetent? One of the two. Go ahead. Just across state lines here where I live is Missouri. This state senator, I'm going to show you. I'm going to make a lot of money. I want you to hear what he's going to do to illegal aliens in his state, and I want to talk about it. And then I'm going to get wealthy. Like, I'm going to be running from Missouri every night to get here at 5 o'clock, and I'm probably going to have 2, 3, 4, 5 illegal aliens zip tied, put them in my garage because they're worth $1,000 each. Oh, I'm going to use my skills. Oh, you watch. You watch me become a millionaire overnight. An absolute millionaire with my skill set and my absolute savage nature when I go after illegal aliens. I pray to God this guy passes that. This guy's got great hair too. You just look at him. When you look at him, you're going to think, well, yeah, that's conservative. He looks happy. His skin doesn't look like it's falling off him because of the ugliness inside is eating his skin away. He looks like a man of hope, great hair and skin. He must be a conservative. Go ahead, Logan. Let's play this guy.
Hey, Missouri, are you ready? We're about to be a national leader in combating illegal immigration. Talk about making national headlines. Senate Bill 72 will finally empower our police and our communities to protect themselves. This bill will make it a felony to be here in this state illegally. This bill will finally allow our police officers to arrest illegal immigrants. And it'll allow our Department of Public Safety to investigate, to determine if someone's illegal, and dispatch licensed bounty hunters to effect those arrests. Once convicted, illegal immigrants will no longer have access to public benefits paid for by our tax dollars. And much like Crime Stoppers and other federal hotlines, if you submit an anonymous tip that leads to the arrest of an illegal immigrant, you'll be rewarded $1,000. The voters have spoken. It's time to get serious about illegal immigration. President Trump, Missouri will have dangerous illegal immigrants gift-wrapped and ready for deportation. Many more updates coming right here on X at David Gregory Mo.
State Senator from Missouri, count me in. I'll do one better, David. I'm not even going to call the tip line. I'm just going to show up with like buses filled with illegal aliens just stacked on top of each other. From every nation on planet Earth, I'm going to grab it, and people are going to see me coming from miles away. They're going to say, oh, there goes that J.J. Carroll. I'm going to have multiple buses just follow me around, sacking up illegal aliens like nobody's business. Right in my skill set, $1,000 a head? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? $1,000 a head, dude? Once that bill passes, Dog the Bounty Hunter is going to have nothing on me. 1,000. I can do $1,000 a head. I can arrest 1,000 people in a week. It's just a matter of how fast I can jam them in the trunk of my car and drive them to the police station and dump them. Tag them, dump them. Tag them, dump them. Over and over. I work 24 hours a day. I'll be hopped up on Mountain Dew and Monsters like I used to be when I was chasing Sinaloa drug cartels, eating donut holes at 3 o'clock in the morning because that's the only thing open. Sacking up illegals all day and all night, baby. Seriously, 1,000, I can go a whole week with no sleep. I'm almost did that a couple times in my career. Just go. $1,000 a head? Oh, I know me though. I get my first million, I won't stop. I just know how I am. I'll just keep grinding away. And then I'm going to need to get to sleep. I'm going to need my pillow. Do you know how many times that I came home from working a 20, 24, 30-hour shift after catching a 10,000-pound narco load from El Chapo Guzman and his crew, say in Santa Barbara or north of L.A. and Palos Verdes or near Oprah Winfrey's $10 million house, and stay up all night long and then come home and crash on my pillow. Oh, man, my head hit that pillow, had those incredible Mike Lindell sheets. I was gone. Now I get a little more rest, but I still use my pillow. Still have the sheets, different sheets, newer, all from my pillow. My son's got 5, 6 pillows on his bed. My wife's got 8. I got 2. That's all I get. I'm fine. That's all I need. Go to mypillow.com, promo code JJ. It's Christmas. My wife already used promo code JJ. saved us quite a bit of money because we just go there and buy. All done in Minnesota, in America, by an American patriot, Mike Lindell. Oh, that was a fast 30 minutes. I have the best guest coming in. The best guest. Ann Vandersteel. Before I go to Ann Vandersteel, let me just hit one more promo, one more sponsor that we have, and that's SAT123, sat123.com/JJ. You must be prepared. Now, this is perfect segue into Ann Vandersteel. We're going to show a trailer to her new documentary called Ground Zero, North Carolina. And when you listen to her speak and you see this trailer and you say to yourself, do I really need a sat phone? Do I really need a Faraday bag? Do I really need a generator that has like solar panels? Do I really need it? I honestly, it's not some pitch. I want you to have those questions right at the forefront of your mind while you're watching this trailer. And you will understand what we're talking about being prepared. Your government hates you. Your government is corrupt. Your government is the enemy. I don't care what people say. I've never cared about what people said about me. Peer pressure really never, even when I was in high school, it just didn't bother me. I grew up in New Orleans where you have drive-through daiquiris, right? You literally drive through, can I have a 6-pack of alcohol I can drink between here and McDonald's so I can get lit before I have my Big Mac? Yeah, that sounds good. I'll do that. How old are you? Don't even worry about it. Yeah, I don't need to know how old you are. Here you go. That's where I grew up in. Wild times. I didn't drink. It wasn't allowed in my house. Everything else was crazy and loud in my house. No curfew, have fun, go do it, but you're not gonna drink or do drugs. 10-4, and I didn't. So peer pressure doesn't bother me. So people say, well, you're black pilling. No, I'm just telling you the truth. You just don't have the intellectual capacity to hear the truth. That's not my problem. And I don't care, and I'm not gonna sit here and try to parse my words to make you feel better. I'm not gonna do it. Think about what Ann Vandersteel is gonna speak about, talk to us about, because you know she's gonna come with both guns blaring, blazing, shooting wild. She's not gonna care, just like me. She's just not gonna care. She's gonna tell you what the truth is. Go to sat123.com/JJ. Now, before we bring in Ann Vandersteel, I want to play her trailer. It's an incredible trailer. Weeks in North Carolina filming this as a hurricane hit land, stayed a massive hurricane into the inland, which never happens. I lived in Louisiana. I know what hurricanes are. They hit land, they turn into tropical storms, they blow over, trees fall down, everything goes away. That hurricane in New Orleans doesn't come up New Orleans, travel up through Slidell into Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and then make its way up to Jackson, Mississippi, and then maybe into Arkansas and starts flooding Arkansas in the Ozarks. Do you see the stupidity of that? Logan, let's go ahead and play that trailer, please.
We lost everything. We lost buildings.
In the wake of Helene, and through my investigation over the following month, it seems I have opened Pandora's box. Leading to more serious questions than answers.
And this is where they kept on saying they were finding bodies.
questions about weather modification, government overreach, lack of government response. The camps FEMA has built, seemingly for their own support staff, as their lack of forthright communication to the community about their presence.
Are you shutting me out? Is there anybody here who can answer questions?
When you lose everything, it's like your birth certificate, you know, all your bank statements.
So we're here trying to make sure everybody's safe, fed, and stays warm.
Is what happened in Western North Carolina weather modification, or is it the United States government and global special interests capitalizing on a 100-year natural disaster? Who benefits? Let's examine the facts.
All right, let's bring Ann Vandersteel in. Hello, Ann. How are you doing today?
Oh, JJ, you know, just another day in the office, getting ready to pile in the car with the dog, the cat, the husband, and drive 10 hours back up to North Carolina to ground zero. You know,
oh my God,
that's what we do.
Hey, that's a great trailer, though. Are you happy with your final results of your documentary?
Well, we're still, you know, grinding gears a little bit. I was on the phone with my producer just a little bit ago. There's so much to unpack in this, and this is not a one and done series. This is one, and I don't know how many we're going to get done. Or how many documentaries we're going to have to do to get the whole story out, because this is a government operation from top to bottom. And, you know, I say North Carolina is ground zero, and here we are. It's sort of like Revolutionary War 2.0. But this time, you know, the people are figuring out the government's not here to help them. And that's one of the biggest messages. If we hadn't had a big enough red pill over the past 4 years under the regime that's been, you know, operating this corporation of the United States, and then you layer in, you know, that you had the coup d'etat on January, 20th, or actually November 3rd, 2020, culminated with, you know, the installation on January 20th. That's was eye-opening. Then, of course, COVID that we went through as well. People who really believe in big government and thought big government was here to help you, if you live in North Carolina, you are awake now, brothers and sisters, and they realize that statist mentality isn't what it's all cracked up to be. And they learned quickly that conservatives will set aside political differences and go and help their brothers and sisters on the other side. Because, again, it's about humanity. And North Carolina is under attack. Lahaina has been under attack. The Bureau of Land Management has been raping and pillaging its way using these NGOs of environmental climate crisis crap as front end loaders to steal land from our people for a long time. And, you know, North Carolinians are waking up to this. But it's not even just the land theft, JJ. It's the health threats. It's the complete and utter abandonment. And, you know, President Trump is very clear on making these people whole. And General Flynn, who is not part of the administration, to my knowledge, as of yet, wink, wink, nod, nod. I can't say for sure that I know anything because I don't, but I have suspicions. But he's out there still wheeling and dealing that local action has a national impact. And I think North Carolina is going to be that beachhead, JJ. I've been saying it, and I'm going to stick with it. And I'm going to stay with these people because I'm connecting some incredible people that are rising up as true servant leaders. And that's what we're going to reestablish, our constitutional republic under servant leadership. And I think North Carolina is the beachhead to do it.
I think you're correct. And I use the analogy when I grew up in New Orleans. And I like to touch on this with you because you're going to touch on weather manipulation in these documentaries, if I'm correct. So I use the same analogy. When I was in New Orleans growing up, I went through multiple hurricanes. But when the hurricanes hit land, they literally just start falling apart. It turns into a tropical rainstorm. There's thunderstorms. There's winds. Stuff gets blown up. But as it moves up, it just turns into rain. There's no wind. There's nothing. So it's like what happened in Asheville, North Carolina would be the same as what happened in New Orleans ends up in Meridian, Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, is flooded. How's that possible? How is that? Seriously, can you walk me through that? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all. So, I mean, again, I've gone through over a dozen hurricanes down here. I've seen the eyes of a storm more times than I care to take a care to shake a stick. Say that 10 times fast. But here, the truth of the matter is, Helene roared in as a Cat 4 on the west coast of Florida. and had her way going up the Panhandle through into Georgia, East Tennessee, and Western North Carolina before she, fizzled out eventually. But prior to her arrival, there was 3 days of steady, heavy rain. And I mean biblical rain. And if you take the surface area of the mountains of East Tennessee and Western North Carolina and you flatten those mountains, you're talking about a much bigger surface area. So you have water that's coming down these mountains and through these hollers. And it was flooding at the top of the mountains in some of these instances. So when you have 30 inches of rain, 15 inches of rain in some of these areas, and the dams aren't being, should we say, administered in the fashion in which they should, you are creating a monster problem. But let's talk about the weather modification, because we've all seen, and look, this is not conjecture anymore. Polysodium acrylate is a compound that has been used since the 1950s under the USDA to enhance the soil, the moisture in soil, the moisture content in soil. They use it in agriculture because they can use water more sparingly when the soil will actually retain more moisture, which helps, feed your crops. So this is nothing new, but it's also used in cloud seeding. Polysodium acrylate is also used in mining to separate mine tailings from the ore, the precious ore. And so in quartz silica mining, like you have the finest quartz silica up in Spruce Pine, Sibelco Mines, 90% owned by Belgium, 10% owned by various other interests. They've just recently invested $200 million of their own dollars into that mine. When you can now layer in polysodium acrylate into a mining situation, you're facilitating the mining operations to a massive degree. And it's just sort of all kind of works together in a symbiotic fashion. But the problem is it's irritating to the lungs if you breathe it in mass quantity, which there's been a lot of respiratory illnesses all up and down that area where the water was really concentrated, and in the mud silt kicking up in the dust now. But you're also talking about, people whose lives have been literally washed away. And so there's so much going into all of this, and we're going to continue to develop this because the weather modification is one piece of it. The land grab is another piece of it. The Department of Defense, Department of Energy is another piece of it. The the Defense Authorization Act is another piece of it. But at the end of the day, everything rolls up into these globalists, which are right now facing they're being challenged at the highest levels through this great reset that they thought they were going to deploy in their image. And what do you see happening? You see the markets responding. Bitcoin and XRP and other these cryptos are having these roller coaster rides right now because prior to the bad guys, the banks arriving into that network and realizing, they've got to pay to play, they sat on the sidelines and they suppressed the price of gold and were buying physical gold to backstop what they didn't have as they were short selling it all this while it suppressed prices through ETFs. Now they're realizing the world has moved away from them. SWIFT is being, taken out by the BRICS nations. And so they've got to rely on the replacement, which the SEC fingered a long time ago in 2020 when they went after XRP and Ripple. So XRP is going to be that new SWIFT replacement. And the big boys that have been, building their physical metals reserves by suppressing the price of those metals are now going, well, we can pay to play and we can exchange some of that gold into this crypto world. But they've got lots of other reserves to do that with as well. So this whole financial shift and the fact they were trying to steal the resources that they didn't have out from underneath the people to monetize and capitalize on that and usher us all in these 15-minute cities is being met with the force of the people waking up. And this election, COVID, the lack of response was all a big, F you to the people. And the people are said, wait a minute. We're going to have to push back on this. And that's what's happening in North Carolina. It's this great awakening. And yours truly is going to mobilize these people, come hell or high water, with the help of my friends, you included. And we're going to keep these people awake, engaged, and we're going to get them to basically stand up that parallel government, which is what our Constitution was all about, we the people. So I'm sorry for the diatribe, but, that's kind of the global look at things. Or as we say, that's a look at sports, kids, from my level when it comes to that subject.
No, and you're right on. Now, I know people there are struggling. There's 3 people died of freezing to death. Is there an acknowledgement or understanding in the people of the mountain area of North Carolina that our federal government is spending billions of dollars in foreign countries right now? Like Angola got $1 billion, $550 million for or so around there for the Amazon, another $1 billion or $2 billion for Ukraine. Are they aware of that?
Oh my gosh. It's disgusting. It is, like I said, they've given the middle finger to North Carolina and to anybody that's been impacted by, quotes, bad weather. We'll leave that in air quotes for now. Yeah, they're furious about it. They don't understand why when they go to these FEMA NGOs that are there to help them fill out paperwork, their $750 is denied. You know, I have personal contacts that had 3 trees in their house, weren't in a flood zone, and because they're now reclassifying flood zone, oh, I'm sorry, we can't help you with that. I mean, it's just insane what they're doing, but they're doing this deliberately to get the people to leave the area to move into these 15-minute cities. And no, the people in North Carolina were the wrong fight to pick, because this is hardy stock, JJ. They're not getting up and leaving. These are people that have been there for generations. And some of these houses, you know, I just learned that this is how twisted it is. This is how much they want you to leave your property behind. They are now offering, as long as your restoration or the rebuild or the repairs of your property don't cost more than 50% of the original price of the property. Now, just stop and think what that means. You are a 3rd generation North Carolina. That was your grandparents' home, right? And you still live in it because they passed property down. So what did that house really cost 3 generations ago, right? $10,000, we'll say, for an expensive house. Your repairs are going to be well north of that. I can guarantee it. And they're only going to say, we won't give you any permitting hassle if your repairs don't go over 50% of that 10 grand or whatever the price of the house was. So they just aren't going to help you. And they're going to make it miserable for you to try and get the help and to get the permit done. So if you have the means, they're not going to allow you to permit. That's the point. They don't want you building back. They want to get rid of all those people, move you into a city so they can have that land. And they're doing some squirrely things in Chimney Rock. They've now gated off that community. They really are making this very, very painful. And, you know, frankly, I think the people are starting to really engage and push back. Even some of the sheriffs are shockingly siding with, you know, the big federal government. And they're protecting FEMA, which I find atrocious, because these are their people that elected them. So this is just, again, this is part where the people have to say, you know, we're done with you and we're going to remove you and replace you, just like our declaration says. It's time to alter and abolish. And so that's what I'm going to focus on. And I really want to make North Carolina that beachhead to help make America great again through the eyes and through the ears and through the acts of what they do in North Carolina.
No, I agree 100%. Before I let you go, can you tell us where you're going to premiere it? I saw that you have a free event. Is that true?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm actually giving this. I'm helping you all. I'm going to ask your network to carry it as well. It's going to be free to everybody. I do this as a labor of love, and the support that we've gotten through American Made Foundation, which has made this possible to get this information out, in addition to, you know, providing kitchens and housing and help to organizations that are rescuing people from the throes of CPS trying to steal their children. You know, this foundation is really focused on North Carolina right now, and for good reason. But you can watch it on my channel on Rumble. You'll also be able to, if you're in the area, come out to Avery Airfield in Avery County. It's a great group out there. We'll be in a hangar. We'll have a big screen, and we're going to have about 150 people. It's free. We might even have some food. So it'll be 6 p.m. Tuesday, December 17th.
Oh, that's great. I know it's exciting to see your work come to life, and I know it's a lot. People think, oh, you can just take your camera, film some stuff and cut some clips and throw it on. It's not like that. You know that better as well as I do. It's an arduous.
You know it too. You know it very well.
Oh,
yes, you do.
Oh, it's exhausting. So I want to thank you from the people of America for documenting that and not allowing the government just to whitewash it and let's just move on. No, we can't do that. We have to see firsthand what our government's done. So Ann Vandersteel, thank you so much. Safe travels with your family, and we'll see you next week. I always appreciate everything you bring to our show. Thank you.
Thank you, JJ. Appreciate you. God bless.
God bless you too. Thank you, Ann. Ann Vandersteel, you gotta support it, right? I know Brandon House will definitely have that documentary on our channel. Once we get more information, we'll start promoting like crazy, because we have to watch it, because ignorance is no longer an excuse. Ignorance now makes you complicit. You become complicit in the crime of ignorance. I really believe that. Ann Vandersteel, amazing. Like I always say, when you leave a discussion with Ann, you don't wonder. I really wonder what her opinion is. I love it. I love it. Intelligence. You know, when you talk to someone that's more intelligent than you, and you know it, that's how I feel with Ann. Like, Ann's got to beat on me. I got to catch up. I got to get ahead. I got to know what What is she working on now? How can I get ahead? Sometimes I just throw my hands up and say, just let her go. The only other person, well, not the only other person, but another person I felt that way is an interview I had with retired Colonel Douglas McGregor for my documentary, What is Treason, Trafficked, and Invaded. I sat down with a man that I knew that I was intellectually inferior to. That's a humbling experience, but I knew it. Like, okay, this man has 20 years on me. He has 20 years life experience more on me, and then his life experience has been robust. So he had incredible knowledge, and just like Ann does, has historical information, data, and recall of that data is amazing. So I always love talking to people like that because I learn, right? The more you learn, the more ignorant you realize you are, and the more you need to dive into things. At least that's how I feel. That's how I feel. I want to learn. I want to know. I don't know everything. Nobody can know everything. I could be an expert on one or two things, but I can't know everything intimately. So I love interviewing people like Ann. Welcome on our show all the time. Once a week, once every Tuesday, she comes on, gives me 20 minutes solid of her time. I mean, I'm looking at the clock, right? That's why I look up. I got a little clock in the corner, and a little clock on down here that Logan sets up for me. I got 8 minutes left. Where did this show go? I have half. I still got like half of my show. I need to jam 30 minutes into 8. Ain't going to happen. But I will tell you this. I want you to go to worldviewtube.com vault. Maybe, Logan, you can throw that up there because I know I probably said it wrong, but it's the vault. And why do I want you to go to the vault? Because we just dropped our first long-form interview with Truth with J.J. Carroll. Very, very proud of this. I think, Logan, I saw it was 2 hours and 42 minutes, something like that. Let me tell you what. You're going to watch 2 hours and 42 minutes, and you're going to think, well, that wasn't 2 hours and 42 minutes. There's no way that was 2 hours and 42 minutes because it moved that fast. And what you're going to hear from a woman named Dr. Juliet Engel, 75 years old, sharp as a tack, vibrant, passionate, intelligent, articulate, one of the first members of MK Ultra, Mein Kampf Ultra, became or placed or sold, kidnapped into the sex magic program. When you hear her stories, you are going to be absolutely shocked. Shocked. As one of my friends said, she watched the clips that Logan put together, like a 3-minute clip, a 5-minute clip, and she called me and said, I didn't even sleep last night just watching those clips. I could not stop thinking about what Dr. Engel said. I could not. And I said, you better buckle up if you go watch the whole 2 hours and 42 minutes. Buckle up, because what you're going to hear is going to unnerve you. And when you realize your federal government did this knowingly, and this woman is one of thousands, not one of 10, which is a scandal all to its own, but one of thousands. And we're just talking about children. So when I'm telling you our government's evil, our government is corrupt, our government's the enemy, I don't say that for clicks. I'm not that type of guy. I'm just telling you what I know, experience-wise, what I'm researching, what I'm learning. There is no other explanation except your government is the enemy of the people. It just is. It just is. So go to the vault, worldviewtube.com/JJ. Go to the vault, $99 and change for a year subscription, $54, I think, $53.94. Crazy numbers. I'm going to tell Brandon House, how do I remember these numbers? For a year, $95.88. That's strange. 6 months, $53.94. $53.94. There must be some marketing to that, to those numbers. or you can do it monthly for $9.99. Incredible. My next, we just posted this one. I've already secured my next one, which is Sarah Maccabee, the wife of January 6th sheriff that was put in jail for 70 months, has already eclipsed 35 of those months. I'm going to have I know that's going to be just like Dr. Juliet Engel. It's going to be a 3-hour. Absolutely. And you want to talk about an intelligent, passionate young woman that's ready to get her husband back. But when she gets her husband back, she knows the war will be raging then, because she's not going to just lay down and say, okay, thanks for having my husband back. No, you just stole 3 years of my life. My life. My life's dead. You killed it. You are going to see major lawsuits against our federal government. And here's the beauty of it, as I told Sarah when I was talking to her. This isn't going to be the Biden administration where they're going to stonewall you. You're going to have Kash Patel, Kristi Noem, and those type of individuals that have access, Tulsi Gabbard, to all the intel, and they're going to give you everything you need, every last document to show that this was a fraudulent coup by the left and the rhinos led by Liz Cheney. And you're going to be wealthy beyond your... I want the $100 billion in Ukraine to be brought back and given to the January 6ers. That's what I want. Go to the vault, please. My dog, Cinnamon, is loving life with her mojos from petclub247.com. Petclub247.com has a patent on one of the most potent mushrooms in Japan. And I love their tagline. It's for pets, horses, and humans. I take it. Why? It's natural. It's all natural. I love it. I love the husband and wife owner too. The ownership team. Amazing. Christian, God-fearing, incredible. Truth with jj.petclub247.com. Go there. Just look at it. Just go watch the videos. Read the testimonials. I think it's over 400 peer review articles. I mean, it's really insane. It's absolutely insane. I love our sponsors. I love them because I believe them. I use them. I got like 2 minutes left, Logan. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to show. I have to show this. Can you put up the article from the Gateway Pundit where Trump is mocking? Yeah. Trump is just trolling Trudeau, just trolling him, and says he's going to make Governor Trudeau governor of Canada, the 51st state of America. And people say, well, that's unbecoming a president. Nope. That bastard, Trudeau, that soy boy, Castro's illegitimate child, that guy has been and continues right now participating in flooding America on the northern border with millions of illegal aliens. Over 85 nationalities have crossed the border in one sector, Swan sector, the northeast corridor of America. By this man, he allowed it to happen. He propagated. He did it, just like the Obrador in Mexico. They did it on purpose, in collusion with the bag of skin. Love Trump. Love it. Keep posting away, Trump. Keep mocking them. Mock the left all day and all night. Mock them. To their face, mock them. Because they hate you, they try to destroy you, and they're taking over our government, and they are malicious, they are strategic, they're intentional, they're purposeful, and they're evil. Mock them right to their face. You heard Ann Vandersteel talk about the dollar and BRICS and Bitcoin. You need to diversify. Swiss America, precious metals. Go to 800-254-5904. Call Wes Peters. Diversify. Listen to Wes. Because America, We're in a war for the soul of America right now. This is not going away just because Donald Trump won an election. Do you think these crazy leftists in the mental institution are just going to allow him to go? That's not true. Go to the vault. Support worldviewtube.com because we love America, unlike our government that hates us.